In this section, we will explain what is a viewing direction, viewing angle, and the contrast. So let's first explain what is a viewing direction. So LCD have a different contrast with viewing directions. So direction from which the display will look at the best is a LCD optimized view direction. But normally we say, okay, the LCD viewing direction is an optimized viewing direction. Actually, we classify the LCD view direction by the clock. For example, let's imagine this is a clock. Actually, the 12 o'clock is like this, and this is 6 o'clock, and this is 3 o'clock, and this is 9 o'clock. But most of the LCDs have optimized the viewing direction either from 12 o'clock or from the 6 o'clock. Okay, and LCD has optimized the viewing direction. Actually, it is classified, okay, if somebody look at the LCD, this is a perpendicular direction. If it's the direction lower than the perpendicular direction, so we call it the 6 o'clock. Okay, and then here will be the 12 o'clock. Okay, and then if somebody look from the side, from the right side, it's a 3 o'clock. If it's from left side, it's a 9 o'clock. Sometimes, the viewing direction can be pretty confused. For example, if the LCD, put like this way, and if we look like here, is this a 6 o'clock or 12 o'clock? You're right, it's still a 6 o'clock, because this angle, actually is lower than the perpendicular direction. Okay, so this is 6 o'clock. For TN LCD, it has a strong viewing direction preference. HTN is a little bit better. STN and FSTN can be viewed from all the directions, although it also has the viewing direction preference. Please check with engineer in the real design. From here, you can see that we classify the viewing direction here. If it's lower than that, it's a 6 o'clock. If it's higher than that, it's a 12 o'clock. Okay. For example, this is a calculator. So calculator, if you check the calculator, so it is always look at the panel at the 6 o'clock. But for the thermostat, to adjust the temperature at home, most of the case, our eyes are higher than the LCD panel. So that is 12 o'clock. Of course, if little children look at the thermostat, it should be from here. It is 6 o'clock. Okay, but most of the adult look at the LCD panel. It's for thermostat. It's from 12 o'clock. What is a viewing angle? The viewing angle formed on either side of the viewing direction, where the contrast of the display is still considered acceptable. Okay, what does this mean? That means that if the LCD like this, okay, if you look like this angle, it's still acceptable. But if you look at this angle, you cannot see the display. We will say, okay, the 3 o'clock viewing angle, it's from perpendicular to this direction, just this wide. So viewing angle means how wide of the viewing angle, can be. It's turned like this direction. Okay. For example, for TN LCD, it is a pretty narrow. It is a -5 to +35. What does this mean? So this is a perpendicular direction, okay? -5, that means the angle is slight higher than the perpendicular direction. You know, from this angle, you can see the LCD. But if it's a little bit wider, so you barely can see it, okay? And bottom is 35 degrees. That means, you know, this is for example, this is a perpendicular, and from the perpendicular direction is a 35 degree. You still can see the display. But if you increase the bottom angle to 35 degree, so to 40 degree, you cannot see the display. Okay, the contrast is pretty low. So in that case, we will see this LCD from top 5 degree and bottom 35 degree. You can still see the LCD. Over that, you cannot see that. And from right, left and right is 40 -40 to +40 degrees. That means this is perpendicular direction, and you know, left 40 and right 40, you can still see the display. But if you increase the angle to 50, you know, if you see the LCD 50 or beyond, you cannot see the LCD. Okay, so that's normally the TN angle. Okay, TN angle. For HTN, it is a little bit bigger. Okay. Oh, for STN, it's even bigger, and for FSTN, it's much bigger. Okay, so this data is wrong, so you should have a 0 here. This graph explains that you know, this is a perpendicular direction to the LCD, and it's how big, you know, it's 6 o'clock. Okay, the eye from here, it is around 30 degree. Okay. And we can also measure, okay, what is the angle from 12 degree and 6 degree or 9 degree. 9 o'clock. Okay. Sorry, it is 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. Next question, what is the contrast ratio? A measure of the display system. The ratio of the luminance, another word is the brightness, of the highest color, white, to that of the darkest. From this LCD, we can see that, okay, this is a white, and first we set a machine to measure the brightness of the white area, and then we set the measurement to measure the darkness, the darker part brightness. Then the ratio between that we call the contrast. So in that case, we see that is the bigger of the contrast, it's more clear. It is more sharp, you know, sharper. We can see the LCD. These are all these questions.